Ahoy hoy everybody, it's time for another update on what happened next with our Dragon Age party. So, pushing on them, right? First up, the organisations battle between the Redhold Consortium and the southern reaches of Tanador. Yeah, there's organisations battle, beating each other down month after month. So, we get that a little bit closer. With another month gone in their feud, and this time they attempt their growths, and nothing really very proc-worthy happening on the growths for either of them. So that's kind of painful. If I remember rightly, actually, Tanador's side failed to grow, suffered a mishap, which was basically, speaking wrong to the wrong people, upsetting the wrong people, and not getting the support they'd have wanted to get, because at the moment, they are still small cells trying to spread the message, going door to door, not so much door to door, more cave to cave, and trying to get that out there, the message, there's another way, you don't have to live in fear, I'm the elect of the sky, follow me, this is going to go down. But anyway, Tanador tries to go about things in a more subtle fashion. So he sends some people to try and persuade, let's just say, some of the Redhold trading communities. Tanador will treat you much fairer. It's Avars for Avars. You won't be heavily taxed the same. It's like it's turning into a political debate. It's the, Tanador's the left wing and Karak's the right wing sort of party. So it's a party election for the mountains going on now. But he tried that. But they were already bought out and in the pockets of Redhold, so that kind of harmed his cause, really. And, yeah, they got, laughed out of the area. Why would we give up our position of power? Pfft, go away, silly man. Kind of thing. So, that is bad. They suffered a setback there. Meanwhile, Tanador's trying to gather his forces together, and to do that he needs supplies. And some of the southern holds are indeed supplying them with what they need. And one of them, from the past go, had been identified by Karak. So he decided to send a strong raiding party in and attack it. To send a message, basically, to quash it, crush it, smash it. And, boy, that's what they did. So basically, Tanador's cause has suffered even more damage. And the rebels are now seeing, well, geez, we want to fight back, but if we do, this is really, really bad for us. And, we want to help Tanador, but this isn't going so great for us in trying to actually do it. So, yeah, that's interesting as well. So, what else is going on? With everything else, crush that down. Tanador's side has been badly hurt by that, and Tanador's starting to realise, I'm going to have to fight them a different way. So what am I going to do? Well, what I'm going to have to do is, I can't fight them head on, because they seem to beat all of my attempts here. They've already got established power, so I'll have to do something else. I'll have to try playing to strengths that are unique to me, so to speak. Now, the Grey Wardens have come back to him. They've visited him, and they've said, alright, look, Karak's not answering our summonses now, alright? So, we think he's gone rogue, seeing as, he's politically what he is. So, what I'm thinking here is we will get involved in as much as to try to get straight to Karak. We won't fight in the war for you, but you can use us as an asset. If you get through to Karak, we want to be there, basically, so we can question him. So, blimey, Grey Wardens. So, yeah, I mean, they're on location. It's the Orlesian ones that have turned up as well. Some question over whether Tanador... So yeah, he won't be able to, use the Wardens as a constant thing, but that's kind of in place. And, of course, they've brought some numbers with them in so doing. But, kind of, held in reserves, basically. But the question is, what about the Chantry? Can Tanador get the Templars on board? Ever since the lyrium smuggling thing came about in Val Royeaux, that it's terribly backfired on them down through the chain. And of course the supply chain actually comes from Orzammar, so how far back the chain is it going to come? I mean, the Templars are investigating, they're tracing it backwards. So this is starting to look quite serious. I mean, the whole thing was really brought to an identifiable public notice at that party, the way that it all came out about the Indigo Road. So, can he get the Templars on side? So, one to watch still there, okay? So that's the thing with the organisations, and then on to the group. So, we kicked off straight away with a certain person making an appearance before the group. After the group had just come out of, the Sanguinary Monastery, Damus Archon decides to turn up and says, yeah, you've been looking for me, this sort of thing. And they're all like, no, we haven't. We haven't been looking for you. We're the, who the hell are you? So then he has to make them understand that the group that that travelled in their place before were hunting him down and caused all this trouble for him, and he wants to make them pay. And if it isn't them, therefore, even though they are conquering amazing feats, and he realised, well, you're not the ones I wanted to talk to, so I don't have time for you anymore. But I just wanted to get it out of you where they are. And they're like, well, we don't have to tell you. And it's like, well, I've already spoken to you. So just from doing that, I've removed all the information from your heads. So, yeah, he knows where they all are now. So he wants to speak to Karak, he wants to speak to Tanador, wants to speak to Amelia, and so forth. So that's a bit of a problem for them. And actually, what the hell's that going to do in the Avar Civil War going on? I mean... Oh dear. Anyway. They have that meeting. Sigurd's starting to think about attacking him from behind, even though he's giving out all of this magic energy. And then, of course, Nimde Rana turns up. The old Dalish white-haired elf, leaning on his stick, scar down his face. Like before. Again, a lot of them don't really know him either. But he basically puts a spell over them so that they understand everything that's happened with him and the group who travelled before them, and everything he'd done before. And he basically explained, look, you were the chosen ones. You were the ones that were supposed to help with the coming blight. Now I have to find someone else. You were going to be the ones. We need a new hero now for Ferelden. But, because they've got on with all of their own shit, and they've completely changed history to have to be something else. So he says, look, the most I can do now is to limit the amount of damage you're doing. And he explained a few things to them. He basically implied that he's actually one of the elven pantheon of gods, and that he's referred to as the caretaker, as it were, and as some sort of involvement in the what was Golden City, something to do with that as well. So, yeah, he's got quite crazy power, and he said, he's been trying to guide them along and help them towards the future that was going to be, but now he's doing damage control and mop up. He says, look, I already had to step in for the others when they pissed off the archdemon, and I had to come in white dragon form and save them. And now I've got wounds that I can never heal from. The archdemon did that to me, and should I ever change into a dragon again, then I won't survive it. So, I mean, that's pretty bad. They've hampered his power. And so, he's nothing more he can really do to help. They've destroyed all the help they could have possibly had. So they're told, anyway, this thing that when you killed off your good werewolf friend, it set off a whole lot of trouble. Another one of Pete's characters, of course. And the backlash of this, if you don't go to the site within the Emerald Graves and deal with this, is going to come back on you threefold. Alright, so you're going to have to do this now, or seriously, it's going to be bad. So, they consented to do it. They were going to have to travel there and put the situation to peace. Situation in the Dales stirred up basically between the elves and the Orlesians within the area, or a particular faction thereof. Now, the rest of this information I'm not going to be privy to explain at this point, because they're going in and doing this dungeon, and they've done a bit of it. They've done like 7 areas of it so far. That's what they went on to do. So, getting to the dungeon, the stuff that comes before the dungeon, and then 7 areas of it. Of course, I'm trying to get this thing moving forward. I'm waiting to hear back from Green Ronin about whether they'd be interested in even taking a look at it. So I can't really say anything about it publicly yet. The actual content-wise. They have to tell me if they would have space for it and that kind of thing. But it's definitely an advanced thing for an advanced GM to run, and a group that's fairly confident in what it's doing and high enough level to handle it. Now, one way or another, you will get to see the content of the dungeon, either by way of them saying, okay, we'll take it, and it getting released one day, and you get to see it, or being told, well, we won't actually take it, and then I'll just have to release the file to the public, and one or another, and you'll be able to see then what it was they did. But I would say highly challenging. No one has died yet, but that could all change. So 7 areas into the dungeon. Next update could be pretty short, couldn't it? Just like an organisation thing, and they did a bit more of the dungeon that I can't talk about at the moment. It's one of those sort of funny things right now. But I have to guard my potential interests in this. I don't want to ruin the chances of it ever actually being released before it's even out of the gate. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll be able to show you more in the upcoming. But until then, our guys are 16, striving to get to 17. Yellow Eye is already 17. I will see you at the table.